Earlier this week, my wife and I celebrated our first wedding anniversary. And of course, you'd be apt to wonder what relevance that has to St. Petersburg and my visit to it. But you will know in some time if you stick with me. So, I was tremendously fortunate to visit Russia for the first time in 2018. I was there for a tour to Kamchatka, the peninsula in the far east of Russia, and I extended my trip for 2 nights and 3 days to St. Petersburg. My affinity for this great city was stoked by my reading of my first Fyodor Dostoevsky novel, Crime and Punishment. Now, in this seminal novel, Dostoevsky has a very vivid description of St. Petersburg, particularly of Nevsky Avenue, where a key incident at the beginning of the novel takes place. That, combined with the historical significance and the cultural richness of St. Petersburg, had me very curious to explore the city and experience it. And so the first day I landed in St. Petersburg from Moscow, about an hour and a half's flight if I remember correctly. Of course, there's a high-speed train also from Moscow, but I wanted to minimize the amount of time traveling because I had only 2 nights and 3 days. And I reached my hotel, and the first thing I remember thinking is, wow, this doesn't look like a hotel at all. I had chosen a hotel very specifically on Nevsky Avenue because of its cultural significance, like I mentioned, and also because it's geographically very conveniently located to all the important attractions that you would want to see if you're in St. Petersburg. So this looked like some sort of a private apartment, a very old building. Anyway, I paid off the taxi and went in. And the first thing I realized to my horror was that my hotel was on the 3rd floor and there was absolutely no lift to the building. And I had a 25 kilo bag in my hand and a further 15 kilo camera bag on my back. And while I was huffing and puffing and sweating up the staircase, I very suddenly realized that the building actually looked incredibly similar to the one in which Dostoevsky's novel is set, or at least the incident at the beginning of the novel. So that was a startling revelation, really, right from the red oxide on the floor and the window sills to the actual design of the windows and the way they opened up to a view were all almost identical to how I had imagined and envisioned the apartment in question to be while I was actually reading the novel. Anyway, I checked in and of course with a little help from Google Translate, I was able to communicate with my host who of course didn't speak a word of English. After freshening up, I went out for a walk, and the first monument right up the road from where I was staying that I saw was the Kazan Cathedral. And what a magnificent building. I was floored by the beauty of the pillars, the columns, and the general architecture of the place with some beautiful landscaping in the foreground. And it was quite a contrast to the busy hustle and bustle of the street, which is on a very important main road like Nevsky Avenue. And then I actually strode in and was utterly captivated by what was going on inside, because there was a choir being played, and just the sounds, those sounds bouncing off the dome and the huge walls was an incredibly sensual experience. And then I came out, and by then it was going dark, and there was a general festive atmosphere on the street, people playing music, and there were lights, and there was of course traffic all the time, but still never felt like it was overcrowded. Apart from that, I actually took a walk to the Church of the Savior on Spilled Blood, but to my slight misfortune, unfortunately the topmost domes had been covered for some maintenance work, and therefore I was unable to enjoy the full beauty and splendor and glory of it. But nevertheless, I managed to make this in-camera multiple exposure. Following this, I went to an Indian restaurant for dinner, and while you might well denounce that, saying that I should have probably tried some local food while I was there, I was actually craving for some spicy Indian food after spending a week in the remote wilderness of Kamchatka, because I must say I'm a vegetarian, and all that was available to vegetarians was a few steamed vegetables with hardly enough salt for the tongue to taste. So not complaining, it's just that being an Indian and being used to spicy food makes you miss it when you don't have it for about a week. But one thing I realized while I went into this restaurant, it was at a beautiful location, very prime spot, right next to the canal at a corner. And the host was, of course, very welcoming, and I instantly felt at home. Firstly, I was surprised to see an Indian restaurant in such a prime location in a country where you don't really expect it to be, like Russia. Perhaps if it's in England or even other European countries, or of course the US, I wouldn't have been surprised at all. But in Russia, I wasn't really expecting that. But the other thing I wasn't expecting, because I'm not really used to that culture, is the omnipresence, the ubiquitousness of craft beer. I mean, almost every restaurant there seems to serve their own locally brewed beer. And the next day I was up nice and early and set out and had a gigantic croissant at a cafe sitting outside. The weather was, unfortunately for me, very damp. It was actually drizzling at that time. But nevertheless, that didn't stop me from walking around. I went through some really beautiful streets with some amazing cars. Some of you who know me will also know that I'm a car lover as well. So I really quite enjoyed walking through these boulevards and spotting some nice cars. By and by, I reached the Hermitage Museum, which was the main agenda for the day. I had bought a ticket which was valid for 2 days. Unfortunately, I would be able to use it only for one. But since it opens only at 11 o'clock, if I remember correctly, that was the time it was opening at. I reached there at 11, having completely misjudged the amount of time required to do justice to this colossally interesting place. I mean, I think there are all sorts of crazy estimates that if you spend 1 minute looking at each exhibit in this museum, you would require something like a lifetime to go through it all. I don't know the exact numbers, but you can Google it up. So it's the second largest museum in the world after the Louvre, and the sheer variety and the scale and the number of things on show there, and also in terms of artistic value, most importantly, it's not just about the numbers. The heritage, the concentration of heritage in just one place was simply breathtaking. I mean, I was completely lost just 2 minutes into my walk around the museum. I was just blown away by the very reception hall itself, which has this really high ceiling and this amazingly grand staircase. And just going through each of the halls, looking at the tapestries, the paintings, the sculptures. I mean, there's this fabulous sculpture of Voltaire that I saw there, which I'll never forget. Quite understandably, I forgot all about lunch by this time, and later when I did remember lunch, I decided to just forego it, forget about it. But unfortunately, by around 3 o'clock, if I remember right, my phone died. And why this was important is that because I then realized that the paintings of Van Gogh, one of my favorite painters, were on display on the other building, which was right opposite the building in which I was. And to get in there, you needed to show your copy of the ticket again. And I had only an e-ticket on my phone, which was now dead. So the only way I could enter was if I went back to the hotel room, recharged my phone, and came back to the museum before it shut. So I actually did that, believe it or not. I literally ran back to my hotel room, grabbed my power bank, connected it to my phone, of course, while I ran back all the way to the museum. And then, of course, there was still some confusion. There was a carnival of some sort going on that day. A lot of policemen, a lot of people, of course. It was a huge crowd. So I had to ask around at quite a few places before I could actually figure out where the entry point was. And I went into the first floor, or the ground floor rather, and there were some paintings on display there, but none of them was on Van Gogh. I went to the first and second floors, still no luck. And then finally on the third floor is where I found on a wall my first ever Van Gogh. I simply cannot describe the feeling of finally seeing in flesh a painting of one of my favorite painters. Right there, standing about a couple of feet away, every stroke of the few paintings hanging there of Van Gogh were visible. In fact, in some of them the paint still looked wet. That is how real it felt. So I literally had to be kicked out of the museum at about 5 o'clock because it was closing time, and I wish I could stay longer, but nevertheless I was really happy that I made it just in time, to be able to catch the Van Gogh paintings. So after this there was still of course some daylight left, even though the Hermitage was closed. So the next destination I made my way to was the St. Isaac's Cathedral. Now, I simply haven't been to a more magnificently decorated building so far as interiors are concerned in my entire life. I know I haven't been to the Sistine Chapel, I hope to someday, but I cannot imagine anything being more spectacular than what I saw inside the St. Isaac's Cathedral. I mean, the paintings, the murals, the things hanging from the ceilings, I don't know the technical terms for them unfortunately, but whatever I saw seriously went straight to my heart and touched my soul. But then it was time to take it one step further and go to the colonnades of the St. Isaac's Cathedral. There's a separate ticket for that, by the way. If you're visiting, please keep that in mind. But it's totally well worth visiting, because not only is the building itself beautiful from there, but also the view you get from there of the square close to the cathedral, and there's a hotel which is very beautiful, and just being there at sunset and seeing the lights coming on, the sky going from color to color to color and finally ending up black is a fabulous experience. So while all this was going on, I was constantly in touch with the lady who's my wife right now, who wasn't back then, Saurabha, because I must say that before I embarked on this whole trip, she was actually even more excited than I was. I mean, I've never seen someone being so happy and so excited for someone else, but she was. And so I was doing her excitement justice by trying to share as much of what I was experiencing as possible. And every moment I took a picture of anything significant, I was sending it to her and so on. And so it was here. But very soon the sun set, the sky went dark, and it got pretty chilly. So I made the wise decision of disembarking from my high perch up the St. Isaac's Cathedral and started walking around just rather aimlessly, mostly aimlessly, and finally ended up at another Indian restaurant, this time a Punjabi one, where I ordered a lot of nice buttery, spicy curries and rotis and sat down for a meal, which is when my wife pinged me saying that she had something to share. Another short background to this was that she wanted to give me a letter before I embarked on the trip, but wanted me to open and read only during my stay at St. Petersburg. But unfortunately, she was unable to meet me on the day of my trip. So the alternative was to take pictures of the letter and send them to me when I was in St. Petersburg. So now that I was in this restaurant, relaxing, having a nice dinner, having a nice beer, having had a really long day and really content with the experiences I had, I suggested why not she send them to me now, which she did. And then conveniently escaped. Because in that letter she had confessed her love for me and all of that, which was quite something to digest along with the food which I was having. But anyway, I was pleasantly surprised and delighted, of course, and excited, but I had a lot of mixed feelings, and therefore I needed some time to mull over all of it. And I finished my dinner and then carried on to my next adventure, which was the midnight boat ride on the Neva River to see the drawing of the bridges, which is an utterly fascinating experience, because St. Petersburg, being a city of canals and water, just like Amsterdam, is best explored by water or by boat. And so it's an amazing tour of the city where you get to see a different part of it, and the buildings are extremely well lit, so it makes for very, very scenic viewing on either side. And of course by midnight you reach the big bridge where you see it being drawn, and you go right underneath it or through it. So after that the boat takes a slightly longer course around and then turns back and drops you back to the original location. And I strongly recommend this to anybody visiting St. Petersburg. It's a fascinating experience, but in my case it was spiced up a little bit more because of what Saurabh had just confessed, as well as because of the weather. It was raining, but despite that, I was standing on the deck watching this beautiful view. I didn't feel any of the cold or the dampness from the rain, because it was just such a beautiful evening. And the only way it could have been better was if perhaps Saurabh was there in person, which unfortunately couldn't happen at that time. But I hope to and dream to take her back to St. Petersburg with me and show her the Hermitage and all the beautiful things in St. Petersburg that there are to see. So I went back to my hotel and retired, and next morning I had to be up fairly early for my flight back to Moscow, and from, of course, there to India, Bengaluru. And I got a very friendly cab driver on the way back who told me a little bit about how the old city was and where the new city begins and things like that. Again, Google Translate to the rescue. Had quite a fascinating conversation with him, and then I just got my flight back, but vowing to return as soon as possible to the city of culture, of art, of music, and of everything that is dear to us. So that's about my visit to St. Petersburg. If you liked the video, please subscribe, because I publish these stories pretty often, and I'll see you in the next. Thank you very much.